Hello folks, welcome to Well today. Today I'm here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And I'm actually standing here at Rio Grande. This is actually standing in front of the building. It used to be an urban league. It used to be the Pikes Peak Urban League where my father used to work at when I was a child. And matter of fact, across the street there, see that over there? That used to be the preschool and Head Start that I went to as a child. But I'm here here in Colorado Springs, and I just left from having a dynamic business meeting engagement with a gentleman out at the Air Force Academy, and his name is Ted. Great guy. We sat for a while and really got to discuss, what business opportunities, are emerging, and just really got a good chance to interface. It was an introduction meeting, learn about him, he learned about me, and just, really, here's the thing, today's video is actually about business. And so it's really interesting for me to be down here at the Urban League, here in Colorado Springs. But here's the thing. The conversation today is about, when we're building businesses, it's not just about just basic networking, meeting people just to meet people. It's about developing actual relationships that are intentional and deliberate with people that are not in your neighborhood, right around the door, just in front of you. We're building businesses of today and for the future that require us to go to places we haven't been, or places that we haven't been in a long time, or go to new places, go to new heights. This is a new world that we're in, and it requires entrepreneurs that are willing to develop the relationships, cross barriers, just really find out what's necessary, what's needed, especially in the United States of America, from state to state. Every state needs different things. Every economic system, every environment needs different things. Just having a general business just because you got a great idea, this is the time you really gotta find out if that great idea is even needed in the environment that you're in. So it's very imperative that we really engage with people. We got to get engaged with people, in a time when you don't have to, talk to people or anything. You just go on the internet or, go on social media, and, here's the thing. You still got to have the human piece. The human piece is necessary. And that's a lot of the conversations that we're having with people. Because here's the reality. We're going to, what we're doing is we're blending the technology with the people dynamic on a day-to-day basis, and it's required. But here's the thing, though. Even from the people dynamic, you have to be willing to engage with people. I'm gonna tell you, this division that we're all in, and that we're all been involved in for the past, 9 years for sure. 9 years for sure. Very, very, very intently. We've all been engaged, and it's been very destructive, and it's cost us a lot of money from a business standpoint. It's cost us a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy. As entrepreneurs, we can't afford that. We can't afford to allow the conditions of the environment of division to keep us from being able to grow, start our businesses. Here's the thing. How many businesses have suffered because businesses that they once had or were able to tap into, they no longer can because of all this divisiveness? Here's the thing. The divisiveness is not going to fix itself. It's not. You got to be willing to, go meet, talk to some people, and I address this straight to men. Men, you got to talk to men. I don't give you no outs. I don't give you no outs. I just really don't. No. Now the ladies, y'all doing great and mighty things. I can't even tell you what to do one way or another. But men, you got to talk to men. There's no shortcut there. And men in business, you better learn to talk to other men. The reality of it is all this I don't want to talk to them. I don't know what they're going to say. I don't know how they're going to take it. Here's the thing. As adults, this is adult 101. I mean, guess what? Even in this last 9 years, this tension and division is not new. It's not new by a long shot. There was a lot of business done. When my father worked here at the Urban League, you can read his book, get his autobiography. He'll tell you how it went down, what was going on with him down there and how he had to deal with and the struggles and the people dynamics. And this is not brand new. This is not brand new. So here's the reality. What is brand new is technologies here. Our ability to communicate with people from around the world. Here we have AI. We get to utilize the Internet of Things. We get to tap into. We get, we have the opportunity. And that's one thing. And I thank God that I have the opportunity to take all my years of life experience, in multiple places. See, I can bring you down here and I can give you the story on, how I used to come here as a child and look at my father work, in his office, and come in and admire, the meetings and the things he would have and how that inspired me as a child here in Colorado Springs, and how he was instrumental in the community here and the development of getting things done here, getting business generated, helping those who need help getting into certain aspects, starting businesses, getting into jobs, occupational services, and so forth. He was very instrumental in these things. And here it is. Well, it's considerably. Here it is. 45 years later, I'm standing here. It's no longer the Urban League, but the building still stands here. So it still stands here. Still reminds me. The school is still the same school, which is kind of interesting, but the building is different. And this is the time that we're in. And now we have the opportunity, to take these lessons that we've learned all of these years, put them with the technology, and now we get to utilize them to build businesses, to develop relationships, network, move around, and just do all these sorts of things that we are able to, create generational wealth with and go forward, and not be handcuffed by the tension and the division that has been fomenting and everything. Here's the thing. This video, this is not a deep fake. This is not AI generated, but there are a lot of AI generated and there are a lot of divisive pieces of content out here that's causing a lot of stress and tension inside of families and friendships and everything. And now part of this video I'm making is to really address some of that and to really, just show you, that real life is still happening with real people, that can work across these divisions and everything, to really communicate the fact that, hey guys, we got to get things done and we have an opportunity to really maximize that in time like now. It's going to be kind of a shorter video. I'm going to make more videos before we leave here. It's been a very dynamic time here. These engagements are very, very important. Learning a lot from people that are here down on the ground, here in Colorado Springs, and looking to build a lot of connections and continuity, developing businesses and everything between Indiana and Colorado. There's a lot at work here. There's a lot of things happening that, get in touch with me and you can discuss it. We've had a lot of great conversations, not just here, but even in Indiana. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of initiatives that are underway that are rife for business development now, that are rife for businesses that are currently existing to if you need help with acquisitions, getting your business sold or whatever, let's have a conversation. This is a great season for that, getting your business updated, upgraded. If you're ready to retire but you need to pass it on to something, reach out to me and let's get some things going. There are actually more opportunities than anything, but what happens is we're unable to see them because, we just to our day-to-day, lives and everything. We don't get to see things that I just take myself as an example that I particularly get to see, because, of how I move and everything, how I'm willing to come, 1,200 miles and meet with a stranger until they're no longer a stranger. These are the sorts of things that we got to do as we're building businesses in this new age and in this new time that we're in. So God bless you. Talk to you later.